Let us talk about attitude. The winner sh. That little something that makes a big difference. Now, you don't have to be smarter than everybody else. You don't have to be stronger or faster. But you do need one thing, a winning attitude. Because attitude is where everything starts. It's the foundation. The spark. The engine that moves the ship. Let me give you 6 simple methods to build, shape, and cultivate a winning attitude. Not someday, but starting today. Take full responsibility for your life. Let me tell you something, my friend, one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself is the gift of responsibility. I don't mean obligation. I don't mean guilt. I mean taking full, complete, absolute responsibility for your life. If you want to develop a winning attitude, it starts right there. Now, I didn't learn this right away. No sir. For a long time, I had every excuse in the book. I blamed everything: the weather, the economy, taxes, my upbringing, my lack of education. I used to say, if only my boss paid me more, if only my parents had taught me better, if only I had been born at a different time. I had a whole catalog of if-onlys. And then one day, my mentor, Earl Shove, looked me right in the eyes and said something that changed my life. He said, "Jim, the day you graduate from blame is the day you become free." I didn't quite understand it at first. But over time, I came to realize what he meant. As long as I was pointing the finger at someone or something else, I had no power. Zero. Because you can't change what you don't own. You see, responsibility is not a burden. It's a privilege. It says, I am in charge. I am the author. I'm not a victim of my circumstances, I am the creator of my destiny. And let me tell you, that shift is everything. Now, I know what some people say. Jim, you don't know what I've been through. You don't know what happened to me. And that's true, I don't. And I don't minimize it either. Life can be tough. Unfair. Sometimes cruel. But I do know this: the moment you say, it's not my fault, but it's still my responsibility, that's the moment you step into power. Maybe you didn't choose where you started, but you can choose where you go from here. Maybe you didn't ask for the pain, but you can choose what to do with it. That's responsibility. That's the mindset of a winner. I like to call it the no excuses mindset. It says, if I fail, it's on me. If I succeed, it's on me. If I'm not where I want to be, I'm not blaming the calendar, the president, or the company. I'm looking in the mirror. Now that might sting a little at first. But oh, how liberating it is. Because now you're no longer at the mercy of circumstances. You're not waiting for the stars to align. You're not waiting for someone to rescue you. You become the captain of your own ship. That's where a winning attitude begins: ownership. And once you embrace that, once you say, this is my life, I take full responsibility for it, the world opens up. Doors start to appear where there were only walls before. Opportunities seem to find you, because your mind is now open to see them. And let me say this: it doesn't mean you won't make mistakes. You will. We all do. But now, instead of hiding from them, you learn from them. Instead of running from responsibility, you run toward it. Because that's what leaders do. That's what winners do. So if you want to cultivate a winning attitude, don't wait for someone to hand it to you. Stand up. Own your life. Take full responsibility not just for what happens to you, but how you respond to it. That's the first step. And it's a big one. Because when you change from saying they did this to me to I'm going to rise above this, everything, and I mean everything, starts to change. You're not a product of your environment. You're a product of your decisions. And the best decision you'll ever make is to own your life. Feed your mind with the best. Let me tell you, if you want to change your life, you've got to start by changing what goes into your mind. Just like your body becomes what you eat, your mind becomes what you feed it. And if you feed it junk, don't be surprised when it produces junk thoughts, junk decisions, and junk results. I learned this the hard way. Back when I was broke, not just in my wallet, but in my thinking, I had a mind full of doubt, excuses, fear, and confusion. And you know why? Because I wasn't guarding what I was allowing in. I was watching too much television, listening to complainers, and reading absolutely nothing of value. I had a dusty bookshelf and a noisy mind. Then one day, my mentor said, "Jim, success is a study. If you want to be successful, study success. If you want wealth, study wealth. If you want happiness, study happiness." That was revolutionary for me. Because I realized what I fed my mind was just as important as what I fed my body. Maybe even more important. So I began to change my diet, my mental diet. I started reading good books, listening to powerful messages, hanging around people who were going somewhere. I replaced gossip with growth. I swapped entertainment for education. I started feeding my mind with ideas, with strategies, with wisdom. And here's what happened: my attitude began to change. I started seeing opportunity where I once saw obstacles. I began to believe in possibilities instead of problems. My language changed, my posture changed, and yes, my results changed. Because make no mistake, input equals output. What goes in, comes out. If you fill your mind with fear, you'll live in fear. If you fill it with inspiration, you'll begin to act with boldness. If you dwell on what's wrong with the world, you'll find more to complain about. But if you dwell on what's possible, you'll find reasons to get moving. Now here's the key: it has to be intentional. You can't just let the world program your mind. Turn on the news, and it'll fill your head with worry. Scroll through social media too long, and it'll feed you comparison, distraction, and envy. If you want to build a strong, positive attitude, you've got to take control of the controls. You've got to be the gatekeeper. Decide what goes in. Decide what gets your attention. Find the books, the mentors, the voices that lift you up, and consume them daily. Not once a year. Not once a month. Daily. Because just like a garden needs regular water, your mind needs regular wisdom. I used to listen to motivational tapes in the car, every single day. Back then, it was cassette tapes. These days it might be a podcast, a YouTube channel, or a good audiobook. But the principle is the same. If you're going to spend time behind the wheel or walking, or doing the dishes, use that time to nourish your mind. Let your car become a classroom. Let your phone become a library. Let every idle moment become a chance to grow. Because here's what I know: if you put in the right ideas, your attitude will begin to align with those ideas. And when your attitude improves, everything else starts to follow: your confidence, your energy, your discipline. So ask yourself, what are you feeding your mind today? Is it fear or faith, distraction or direction, noise or knowledge? You can't live a positive life with a poisoned mind. So protect it. Feed it. Invest in it. Because once your mind is stretched by a new idea, it never goes back to its old size. And that, my friend, is how champions are made. Associate with winners. One of the most powerful influences on your attitude and your future is the people you spend time with. You show me your circle, and I'll show you your trajectory. That's not theory, my friend. That's life. You've probably heard it before, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Now, that's not just about income, although that tends to match too. It's about mindset, language, habits, and belief. If you spend your days around complainers, it's only a matter of time before you start to complain. If your circle is always talking about how hard life is, how unfair things are, how impossible success seems, don't be surprised when your attitude matches that tune. Now, I didn't always know this. I used to hang around people who had no goals, no dreams. Their biggest vision was the weekend. Friday was their peak. Monday was their enemy. And every time I tried to think a little bigger, do a little better, they'd pull me back. Come on, Jim, don't get your hopes up. Don't be one of those dreamers. But then I learned a principle that changed everything: proximity is power. Who you're around shapes what you believe. And what you believe determines what you do. So I made some tough decisions. I didn't cut people off in anger, I just started spending more time with people who were going somewhere. People with energy. With ideas. With discipline. People who read books, not just headlines. People who talked about growth, not gossip. And you know what happened? I caught fire. Just by being around the heat. Winners think differently. They don't dwell on limits, they look for leverage. They don't wallow in problems, they search for solutions. And when you're around that kind of thinking, it starts to rub off. It elevates you. Now, this doesn't mean you abandon people. But it does mean you become intentional about your associations. Who lifts you up, who challenges you, who stretches you, those are the people to keep close. And listen, it's not always about physical proximity. You might not know a millionaire personally, but you can read their book. You can listen to their story. You can watch their interviews. Don't underestimate the power of virtual mentors. I had mentors I never met: Zig Ziglar, Earl Nightingale, Benjamin Franklin. I studied them like my life depended on it. Because in a way, it did. Your environment matters. Your conversations matter. Your community matters. If you're trying to climb, don't tie yourself to people who are committed to the ground. Find people who are flying. People who see more in you than you see in yourself and won't let you settle for less. Let me give you a little challenge: take inventory. Who are the 5 people you talk to the most? Are they sharpening you or dulling you? Are they lighting you up or draining your fire? Are they talking goals, or gossip? You don't have to make a grand announcement. You just quietly shift your energy. Spend less time with those who pull you down, and more time with those who lift you up. Because if you want to cultivate a winning attitude, you can't do it in a losing environment. Winners associate with winners. And over time, iron sharpens iron. Surround yourself with excellence, and you'll start to expect excellence from yourself. That's how you rise. That's how you win. Develop the habit of gratitude. Gratitude, now there's a word that can transform everything. You want a winning attitude, you want more joy, more peace, more strength to tackle the day, then start with this simple yet profound principle: be grateful. You see, gratitude is not just a feeling, it's a habit. It's a decision. It's a lens you choose to look through, every single day. I used to think gratitude was something you did when things were going well. When the money was flowing. When the deal closed. When life smiled at you. But no real gratitude begins before the breakthrough. It begins when nothing seems to be going right, but you decide to look for what is right anyway. I remember when I was broke, flat broke. I had pennies in my pocket, excuses in my mouth, and frustration in my bones. I was angry at the world. Angry at my circumstances. Then one day, someone told me, Jim, if you want to change your life, start by changing what you're thankful for. I thought, thankful for what? And they said, you've got breath in your lungs, don't you? You've got a mind that can think. A body that can move. You've got a chance. And that's more than many people have. That stopped me in my tracks. And right then, I started my first gratitude list. It wasn't long. Just 3 things. I wrote, I'm alive. I can learn. I'm not finished yet. That's it. But something happened when I wrote those words. My energy shifted. My thinking got clearer. And slowly but surely, my attitude changed. You see, the attitude of gratitude is what keeps bitterness from taking root. It's what keeps you humble in success and hopeful in failure. When you're grateful, you can't be arrogant because you know every good thing is a gift. And when you're grateful, you can't be defeated because you've already found something to celebrate. Most people wait for a reason to be grateful. But the truth is, if you're waiting, you're missing out. Don't wait for the promotion. Don't wait for the perfect day. Don't wait until all your problems vanish. Choose gratitude now. Right where you are. And here's the secret: the more grateful you are, the more you'll have to be grateful for. That's the irony. Gratitude multiplies. It turns little into much. It turns pain into purpose. It turns loss into wisdom. When you train your eyes to look for blessings, you'll start to see them everywhere. Now, this takes discipline. The world won't remind you to be grateful. It will try to focus your attention on everything that's wrong, missing, broken, or delayed. That's why I say, make gratitude a daily practice. Write it down. Speak it out loud. Share it with others. Start your mornings not with your complaints, but with your blessings. I often tell people success without gratitude is empty. But gratitude, even without success, is still rich. A grateful heart is always full. Gratitude doesn't mean you're satisfied with less. It means you recognize what you already have while you work for more. It's not complacency, it's composure. It's not settling, it's strengthening. So if you want a winning attitude, don't just chase what you don't have. Celebrate what you do have. Don't let the pressure of ambition blind you to the beauty of the present. Take a deep breath. Look around. Say thank you. Because the attitude of gratitude is the foundation of all success. Face challenges with courage, not complaint. Now let's talk about something that visits us all: challenges. Trouble. Difficulty. Adversity. No one gets a free pass. Not the rich. Not the talented. Not the well-connected. Life brings tests to everyone. But here's the difference: winners face challenges with courage, not complaint. You see, complaining is easy. It doesn't take any discipline. Anyone can point out what's wrong. Anyone can say, this is hard, this isn't fair, why me, I used to do it all the time. When something went wrong, I would find someone to blame. The weather. The government. My upbringing. My luck. I had a list. Then one day, I realized all my complaining hadn't changed a thing. Not one thing. It hadn't fixed my situation, improved my mindset, or moved me an inch closer to success. All it did was drain my energy and poison my attitude. My mentor told me something powerful: Jim, don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. That hit me like a ton of bricks. I realized that challenges weren't the enemy. Complaining was. Because every time I complained, I was rehearsing the problem, not solving it. So I made a decision. I would face life's challenges with courage. Not denial. Not fear. Not bitterness. Courage. Now, what is courage? It's not the absence of fear, it's action in the presence of fear. It's standing tall when everything around you says sit down. It's choosing progress over pity, and strength over sympathy. You see, challenges are not punishments, they're preparation. They build something in you that comfort never could. Muscles don't grow without resistance. Diamonds aren't formed without pressure. And champions aren't made in easy times. So when a challenge shows up, don't say, "Why me?" say, "Try me." Don't retreat into complaint. Step forward in courage. Face the storm. Embrace the lesson. Rise to the occasion. Let me tell you, your breakthrough is often hidden inside your biggest battle. But you'll never reach it if you're busy complaining about how hard it is. Courage says, I may not have chosen this fight, but I will finish it. Courage says, this is tough, but I'm tougher. And here's something I've learned: when you face your challenges with courage, you inspire others to do the same. You become a light, a leader, a model of strength. People notice. They admire those who press on when the pressure rises. Of course, it's okay to feel frustration. It's okay to acknowledge pain. But don't build a house there. Don't dwell in defeat. Use that energy to fuel your growth. Let adversity refine you, not define you. Make a habit of asking yourself, what is this challenge here to teach me? There's always a lesson. Sometimes it's patience. Sometimes it's resilience. Sometimes it's humility. But there's always something if you look for it. So the next time life hands you a setback, don't reach for the complaint department. Reach for your courage. Square your shoulders. Plant your feet. Say to yourself, I was made for more than this. And then go prove it. Remember, every champion you admire has scars. Every success story has storms behind it. And what made the difference wasn't talent or timing, it was the courage to keep going. So drop the complaints. Lift your chin. And let courage become your companion. Visualize your success daily. If you want to develop a winning attitude, there's one more habit that's absolutely essential: you must learn to see it before you see it. That's right, you've got to visualize your success every day. Now this might sound a little mystical to some, but let me tell you, it's one of the most practical tools a person can use. Because everything is created twice. First in the mind, then in reality. The chair you're sitting on, somebody saw it in their head before it existed in the room. The home you live in, it started as a vision on paper. The life you want, it must start the same way, with a clear mental picture. I used to think success was just about working hard. And yes, hard work matters. But if you're digging in the wrong direction, working harder just gets you further from where you want to be. That's why you've got to start each day with vision, with clarity. So I began to practice something simple. Every morning, I'd take 5 minutes to see the life I was building. I'd see myself healthy, strong, prosperous. I'd see myself speaking, traveling, helping people, making a difference. I picture it clearly, vividly, not as some vague hope, but as a future I was actively stepping into. You might say, Jim, that sounds like pretending. No, it's not pretending, it's preparing. It's focusing your mind. It's setting your emotional GPS. Because the mind works best when it knows what it's aiming for. When you see yourself successful, confident, disciplined, courageous, your actions begin to follow. And that builds attitude. That builds belief. If you wake up every day and all you see is your current situation, your bills, your setbacks, your limits, that picture will dominate your thinking. But if you start your day by seeing where you're going, you'll carry that picture into everything you do. And guess what? Your brain starts working to close the gap between where you are and what you see. Visualization isn't magic, it's mindset. It doesn't replace action, it fuels action. It gives your daily effort direction and purpose. It reminds you why you started. It keeps your inner world aligned, even when the outer world feels chaotic. Now let me tell you, this habit works both ways. If you constantly visualize failure, loss, fear, worst-case scenarios, you'll start to live accordingly. That's why you've got to take control of the screen in your mind. Don't let worry run the projector. Choose the picture. Direct the movie. Be the producer of your future. Try this, before you check your phone, before you step into the noise of the day, close your eyes for a moment and see the best version of yourself. See yourself finishing what you start. See yourself walking into the meeting with confidence. See yourself eating healthy, speaking kindly, leading boldly. And then live like it's already yours. What you focus on, you move toward. That's the law. So focus on victory. Focus on excellence. Focus on the vision that lifts you. Let it become so clear that no setback, no criticism, no delay can shake it loose. And don't just do this once. Make it a habit. Daily. The same way you feed your body, feed your vision, because when you consistently see it, feel it, believe it, eventually, you live it. A winning attitude doesn't come from wishful thinking. It comes from purposeful seeing. So go ahead, see yourself winning. And then take the steps to make it real. The attitude that wins. A winning attitude doesn't happen by accident. It's not something you stumble into. It's something you build. Brick by brick. Choice by choice. Day by day. You've now seen the blueprint, 6 simple, powerful methods. None of them require a genius IQ. None of them demand a perfect past. What they do require is commitment, discipline, and the decision to stop living by default and start living by design. Choose your thoughts carefully, because your attitude is the soil where your future grows. Feed your mind with the right information. Associate with people who lift you higher. Be grateful, even when it's hard. Stand strong in the face of challenges. See your success before it ever arrives. And most of all, believe in the person you're becoming. Because attitude isn't just how you feel, it's how you face the world. It's the signal you send out before you even speak. People can sense it. Opportunities can feel it. Life responds to it. I'll leave you with this: don't wait to have a winning attitude once you succeed. Succeed because you already have one. You don't have to be perfect to start. But you do have to start. So today, build the attitude that builds your life. Start small. Stay consistent. And soon, you'll wake up living in the results of a mindset you chose, one that wins.